Hello everyone, this is John. I'm going to be teaching you how to do the block today. But first, I wanted to show you, if I can get this camera set up right. First I wanted to show you, if I can zoom in here, get my light over. There is a white line on here, okay, and this is the regular foot that I have that's closed and it's open on one edge here. Now if you were to sew your block on this, it would be more than a 1/4 inch seam, and we're doing a 1/4 inch seam. This white line here is exactly a 1/4 inch from the needle. So if you keep your fabric against this white line on this plastic piece going through, you'll have a 1/4 inch seam. If you want more than a 1/4 inch seam and you want to line it up against the edge of the foot, your fabric, that's perfectly fine, but your squares are going to be smaller than the 12 inch by the time you're done sewing them all out. I've already converted my machine back over. I took off my embroidery. Oops, sorry. Took off my, let me zoom out here. Took off my embroidery foot or extension, and down here is your dog feed. I raised my dog feed so that they're back up. That's low, that's up. So you want your dog feed up. I put this on just because it gives me more service to have my fabric on, and I reset my stitch to S for sewing, and I've also got it down to 0, on the sewing thing, so I am all set to sew my blocks and show you how I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to set this camera back up and zoom in just a little bit. My hands might be in the way, but I'm going to try not to have them in the way of showing you this demonstration. Now I have my block. This is the top, this is the bottom. Now when I go to make all of my squares throughout my thing, I'm going to want, let's see if I can back this out. I'm going to want on all of my squares, I'm going to put it over here so you can see. What I'm going to want on all of my squares is I'm going to want the same fabrics on every single one. And this one will go here, and this one will go here. You have the 1/4 inch seams. And this one will go here. And this one will go here. I'm going to try to keep my trees lined up going the same direction on all of my blocks. By me doing that, I have the green there. I'm going to put the green towards the green. You can see it actually helps me line it up a little bit better. And you have to remember these are each going to be a 1/4 inch, so that's going to be in there, and this will go in here. This one will go here. Then I'll have my large and my red. And then my red here. And that's exactly how my block's going to be. Every single block that I make, they're all going to be this way, with these two in this corner, these two in this corner, these two in this corner, and these two in this corner. And how I sew it on is I sew on the bottom, then the top, then the side, and then the side. Bottom, top, side, and side. And your block will be completed. So now I'm going to show you how to do that on the sewing machine, and it shouldn't take that long to do. I have all of my plan set out of how I would like to have it looking and what directions I want my fabrics to be in, since they do have a pattern on them. A lot of people, what they do is they actually will, you want facing the fabrics together, you want to have the edge lined right up. A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll pin their fabrics. I've been doing this long enough that I don't pin my fabric. I just have it lined up and I make sure that the edge stays lined up. So I'm going to do that now. See if I can get you over to see the sewing machine. Get my light back over so you can see what I'm doing. Now what I'm going to do is that little plastic edge there, the mark on the plastic is my 1/4 inch. I'm going to bring my foot up, hold my 2 strands in the back, and I'm going to sew that right across. Make sure that your edges stay lined up and that you stay right on that plastic part so you'll get your 1/4 inch seam. And there's your 1/4 inch seam. It's that simple. And when I go to do all 12 of my squares, when I have them here, what I'll do is I will sew this piece on all 12 of them. I'll run one through, and then I'll run the next through and the next through, and then when I'm all done I'll cut them apart. But since I don't have all my blocks right now, all I'm going to be sewing on is what I have available. So, okay, then do the next side the exact same way. You want to line up with your little plastic line, put down your foot, hold your strands, both of them, and you sew your 1/4 inch. Now my Husqvarna Viking sewing machine, which I usually use to do my sewing on, it has a 1/4 inch foot. In the 1/4 inch foot, the fabric goes right up to the edge of the foot. If you have a 1/4 inch foot that you can use on your Futura, because I know that they do make 1/4 inch feet for the Futura, I just don't have one. You can more than use that foot to do this, but since I don't have one, I have to use that line. Now before I sew on my next section, I need to iron these open, and I always do the lightest to the dark. So I will iron this open, and that's going to be easy on this because it's a little stiff because I left the stabilizer on it. So I'll be right back. It'll only take me a second. Okay, I pressed that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my other light green and I am going to put it on here. And I'm going to take this. This is when sometimes it's a little tricky because this is a little bit low. You want to keep it square. So I'll keep that square. A lot of people, they would pin it at this point, because once you start getting into multiple fabrics connecting together, sometimes it can be a little tricky. You want it to match up straight on this corner here and match up on this side. and I'm pinning that. Yeah. Okay. Try one more time. Okay. Now I'm going to line that up against that fabric line again. And I'm going to start sewing. And take that pin out. I don't like sewing with pins. That takes care of that side. I'll iron that open. Before I do, I want to get the other side. I have my trees going this way, and I said I wanted my trees to go in the same direction as the words, so I want to make sure that I have that in the right direction. And I'll sew that on. A lot of people are so picky at being perfect about sewing these perfectly, and you know what? In the end, if you have a square that is usable, you're doing good. Most people don't like the way how I do it because I don't pin, but I find that the pins are more of a pain in the butt than they are worth sometimes. Okay, got my 1/4 inch done on that. I'll iron these out and be right back. Okay. Now I said that I was going to do the bottom first, and I want the long trees going that way. So these trees are going this way. I'm going to do these trees going the same direction. So in all 12 blocks, I'm going to make sure that all of my trees and stuff are in the right direction that they need to be in. I don't go back over these either because they're going to be another piece is going to be sewn on here, which will close that up nice and tight, so you don't have to do a back stitch on these. Some people do. I don't. It's just my personal preference. Okay, we got the bottom. Now I want the top. Get that on there.